I'm Danny.
And I'm Lauren.
I'm Amber.
And this is our TVD podcast for Growing Pain.
Previously on the Vampire Diaries, Stefan was meant to be a ripper. Klaus was trying to drain Elena of her blood to make hybrids. Tyler got turned into a hybrid. Bonnie was getting into dark magic because she's going on a Dark Willow storyline. And Elena had to make a choice between Stefan and Damon. By the finale, there was all sorts of stuff happening that didn't make much sense. But Elena died in an accident because she made Stefan save Matt instead of her. But then she woke up on the slab because Meredith had given her vampire blood before. And so will she become a vampire in season 4 or not is the question.
So, let's get into it.
What we're going to talk about?
Danny's got all the notes, so...
Oh, good.
Did you guys not make notes?
I did, but mine are sort of like jumbled and I haven't done it in order.
Yeah, the first thing that I wrote down was, what the fuck is this recap thing? I really hope it doesn't say.
Okay.
I was literally like, what? It was really weird. And then I was just like, why didn't Elena just drive into Rebecca to kill her? Because if she hadn't tried to avoid her, she'd still be alive.
I'm wondering. I was always wondering actually if they smacked into her, if because she's a vampire, a big supernatural vampire, would the car have just like flipped over her like a rock?
Yes, because Blood Ties in season 1, Elena hits an ordinary vampire and crashes her car.
Yeah, that's true, it rolled, didn't it?
Yes, that's true.
Rebecca is like a super duper original. Did they just think it was a random person standing there and was like, oh no, we can't kill you?
Well,
I would have been like, that's fucking Rebecca, drive! Yeah.
Well, as the person who's recently been in a car crash, you have to...
Speaking from experience.
Speaking from experience, you do kind of just swerve instinctively, though. Do you know what I mean? So it could have just been, oh shit, there's a person in front of me, I'm just going to swerve, even though it's Rebecca and I can't kill her, I can't hurt her.
Yeah,
because your body takes over. Instinct.
They were kind of building up Rebecca and Matt last season, so maybe he was like, feelings! I doubt it. But yeah.
I mean, the thing is, though, is that whole underwater scene, I'm never going to understand completely, because it just didn't make any sense to me, because, I mean, it was nice, actually. It was kind of a surreal scene in itself. I quite liked the scene. But what it talks about, it was just, it didn't make any sense, because she was awake and she was moving around and Matt was unconscious. So fair enough, when you have these sort of accidents, you go to the unconscious ones first. That's what you're supposed to do. So in that sense, it kind of made sense for Stefan to get him out. But why the hell couldn't he have just grabbed her hand and pulled her up with him?
Because vampire powers only come in when they're needed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense, and I will never find that not weird. So I don't even know what to say about that.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Yeah, it's just one of those things that you just have to take as one of these weird bits of the Vampire Diaries that they don't like to make sense of, which is fine. It's a thing that they do, and I've come to accept it.
Oh yeah. Okay. So it was actually because it was Meredith's choice that started this whole thing.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah, so Stefan was explaining to Elena in the bedroom when she wakes up, like, what happened, and was like, oh, your injuries are worse than we all realise, and Meredith made a choice, which was to feed her vampire blood and save her. And so that's, like, an emphasis on the choice that Meredith made. I think, like, it's leading down the path that, like, choices have consequences, which is bloody obvious, because obviously choices have consequences.
That's kind of the point of a choice, isn't it?
Yeah, and like, you could try and live in a sort of limbo where you don't make any decisions or you don't make any choices, but you wouldn't really be living. So the point is that life is a series of choices that you make and you live with. Stefan made a choice, but then spends most of the episode complaining about that choice, about how much he regrets it and wishes he'd never done it.
Yeah, it's kind of irritating, to be honest.
Or like, Amber said something earlier about Stefan doesn't actually make choices based on what he really believes.
For himself, he does it to impress, like, basically to impress Elena.
That is true, actually. It's a good point. I mean, because he's always going to be regretting the choices that he makes if he's never making the choice on his own merits.
Yes.
That's the big difference between him and Damon, because Damon owns his choices and he owns the consequences that comes after them. And he might not like the consequences that he gets for it, but he still accepts them because he understands that he made the choice. But Stefan, I mean, I don't know. That whole scene was just a bit weird to me.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I think in season two? Oh my god, it's such a long time ago now. Like, when Damon was dying, he said that he doesn't regret any of the choices he made because it led to Elena.
Yeah.
But, like, he has obviously established before that he does feel guilt over his actions.
Well, yeah, but that's a consequence for him that he lives with.
Owning the consequence of a bad choice.
Exactly.
And then it was the scene between Jeremy and Elena, which I really love Jeremy. The scene just made me sad because it's really obvious where his storyline is going to go, especially considering those like posters they released.
I was really surprised by his reaction, to be honest, because I always assumed. Yeah, I always just assumed that he would be, I'd rather have my sister here with me than dead in whatever form.
He said
the opposite. And I thought...
That line really upset me.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. He's lost everyone. Yeah. Everyone he's ever loved, he has lost them all.
Rather have my sister than another one of them. And I'm like,
exactly.
Jeremy, she's still your sister. Fuck you!
Well, exactly, and it's like, that's not a choice, though, anymore, because she's in transition. Your choice now is to have your sister as a vampire, or have her be dead.
You might go down that path with the whole sort of vampire hunter destiny. So I'm just going to live with that storyline and not, like, complain about it. But it made me sad. I forgot to make a note of this scene properly, because my sort of SE amnesia kicked in.
Fair enough.
The sandwich scene.
That really annoyed me, the sandwich scene, because...
I just laughed.
It's retconning everything, because all
Damon likes pickles!
Do you know what I mean? Everyone loves food. They all eat it. I mean, you see Caroline eating salad and chips, potato chips, because she need, to help her with the bloodlust. I mean, even Vicky, when she was in transition, she was going through Jeremy's fridge. Exactly. Yeah. She was, and she was actually moaning because she thought she was confusing the feelings with hunger.
Yeah. So I laughed back. So I was like, no, it's probably a great sandwich.
But it just really annoyed me because Stefan was saying, yeah, no, I know it's disgusting because you're in transition, and it's like, no, that's not what the story has said so far.
They're talking about Bonnie finding a way to save Elena, and like what she did for Jeremy, and Elena's all like, but the consequences of that were terrible. You have to make choices and live with the consequences.
Yeah.
So, not like you can know unless you're psychic what's the best choice to make to get the results that you want.
And that annoyed me about Stefan, really, because he didn't care. He cares enough about what Elena thinks to get Matt out of the car first, but he doesn't care about what might happen to Bonnie.
Stefan just wants to make the decision that leads to the consequence that Elena loves him.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. What he wants is he wants Bonnie to do whatever she can to negate his consequences for his choice. Which
would be Elena either dying for good
or being a vampire.
That confuses me because he wakes up and is like, I was ready to die. I don't want to be a vampire.
Yeah, that whole thing, that just irritated me.
It's in character. What's not in character is later on when she's like, I need to feed, and we aren't given any information about why she made the choice to become a vampire.
Yeah, that was irritating as well. Yeah. I mean, that's why I was surprised with what with the way Jeremy reacted, because I could understand it if he'd said, "I'd rather have you any way you are, rather than have you dead," then that could have been a reason for her to decide to feed.
Yeah.
Later on.
It could be that she remembered all of the flashbacks of Damon. It could have been like... It's like...
weren't shown that.
Yeah, so after the Stefan and Elena sandwich scene, it's all like, ow, the sun. But that's like not consistent either. Well, Vicky didn't like the sun, but then when Stefan and Damon and they were fine.
Yeah, there's always been a lot of inconsistency about that, though, to be honest. Because Vicky was okay, except for the fact that it hurt her eyes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually hurting her skin or anything like that. And
I don't think it was hurting Elena's skin. She just didn't like her. She goes upstairs and remembers the scene from 208.
Yeah.
Where Damon told her that he loved her for the first time. It goes back to, like, choices and consequences again.
Exactly, it does.
Telling someone something is a choice, and then you then have to live with the consequences of that. But it was kind of cute at the end where she, like, touched her neck, and the necklace wasn't there. Mm-hmm. Where is the necklace?
I assume they've thrown it away, because she can't touch it anyway, can she?
No, I don't know. I can't remember what happened. To be honest, I really can't remember what happened to it. After Bonnie
remember where it is? Let us know.
Yeah, because we don't know.
Rebecca is throwing things, being all angry. I swear to God she had a milk moustache, but I was probably just like...
What?
It wasn't there like a second later. Damon is all snarky. She's like, you don't sneak up on the lady. She hears him sneaking up, but doesn't hear the person that shoots her a minute later sneaking up.
It's because it doesn't work with the storyline. They can't have vampire powers if it doesn't work.
Like the murder closet where Klaus did not hear the...
Yeah, it's that thing again.
And yet Elijah can read her like a ticking clock.
The whole of this episode, humans miraculously can overpower even originals when... The whole of last season, they're running around in fear because Klaus is so powerful and they can't stop him.
I really like the whole sequence with the pastor going around like kidnapping and stabbing and shooting everyone. I thought it was really like fast paced and well done.
Yeah, I liked him. I was hoping he'd stay longer.
Oh, I have a theory about that.
I know, I've seen your theory on Twitter. It's very good.
I can't remember his exact words, but at the end, he talks about like having a mission. God or
said
something.
he's first in the mission or something like that.
Yeah, so it's unlikely that the pastor actually has a mission from God, or that anyone good told him to do anything. So then it just leaves evil characters, which pretty much just leaves Esther. Last season when Alaric told everyone about all the vampires, he was kind of like evil Alaric, and he was evil Alaric because of Esther's influence. And I don't remember this at all. Like, I actually don't remember him telling the council anything about anything.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Apparently that happened.
Yeah, it did. I remember that.
Was the pastor there then?
No.
No. Well,
not that I remember.
Told him to, and perhaps also gave him a mission. So he's now killed all his followers, and they're, like, regrouping on the other side with Esther to, like, do God knows what. That
would be really, really boring to watch. Because we'd get another Ghost World episode, wouldn't we? Where everyone comes back. We're like, hi, it's reunion time. Woo!